today we are going to start a new topic, that is the principle of atom conservation. It is simply known as a POAC, principle of atom conservation. Now, in a given chemical reaction, atoms neither created nor destroyed, but they converted from one form to the another form. This is known as principle of atom conservation. Okay. Now, in any given chemical reaction, atoms neither be created nor destroyed, but they can transfer from one form to another form. One form in the sense reactants, another form in the sense products. Okay. Now, here in a chemical reaction, mass is conserved. We know conservation of mass. Mass neither can be created nor destroyed, but it can be transferred from one form to another form. Similarly, atoms also. Atoms are conserved and moles of atoms are also conserved. Atoms are conserved, moles of atoms are also conserved. But remember, moles do not conserve. Moles do not conserve. Okay, I will give you with example. Now, this POAC concept is applicable on limiting reagent. That means the reagent which is completely consumed. Okay, for such purpose only we should apply the POAC concept. That means an element which is completely converted into product. For such element we can apply the POAC concept. Okay. Now, in POAC method, there will be no need of the balancing of a chemical reaction. This is a very important one. Suppose we have simple reactions and complex reactions. Simple reactions are very easy to balance, but a complex reaction is very difficult to do balance unless until it is not balanced. So how we can correlate the number of moles of reactants and number of moles of products? Okay, in that case it is very easy to calculate the number of moles of reactants or number of moles of product by applying the POAC concept, where there is no any requirement of the balancing of a chemical reaction. Okay. Now, let's suppose we have one reaction, nitrogen combining with hydrogen to give ammonia. Okay. Now, nitrogen atoms are 2, on the right side also 2, hydrogen atoms on the left side 6, right side 6. So this is completely which reaction? Balancing reaction. Now, here 1 mole nitrogen, 3 mole hydrogen, 2 mole of ammonia. Remember, on the left hand side total how many moles are there? 4 moles. But on the right side only 2 moles. That means moles are not conserved. This is very important. Okay. Now come to mass. 1 mole dinitrogen 28 grams, 1 mole dihydrogen 2 grams, 3 mole 6 grams. So 1 mole ammonia, that is 17 grams, because nitrogen 14, each hydrogen 1, there are 3 hydrogen, 14 plus 3 17. There are 2 moles of ammonia, 17 2s are 34. That means 28 grams of nitrogen combining with 6 grams of hydrogen to give 34 grams of ammonia. Here mass conservation takes place. Okay. Now come to atoms also. Now 1 mole nitrogen containing the 2 mole of atoms, 3 mole of hydrogen will containing the 6 mole of atoms. Here 1 mole of ammonia containing 4 atoms, 4 mole of atom, 2 mole of ammonia contains 8 mole of atom. Now here you see 2 plus 6 is equal to 2 plus 6 is equal to 8. Even atoms also, 1 nitrogen has 2 atoms, 1 hydrogen has 2 atoms, 3 hydrogen 6 atoms. Okay. 1 ammonia has 4 atoms, 2 ammonia has 4 to the 8. So atoms are conserved, moles of atoms are conserved, mass is conserved, but the number of moles are not conserved. This is very important. Okay, suppose I have 1 mole of a sulfuric acid, H2SO4. Do you know there are 2 hydrogen atoms in a 1 molecule of a sulfuric acid? Yes. In 1 mole of a sulfuric acid, there are 2 mole of hydrogen atoms. In 1 mole of a sulfuric acid, 1 mole of a sulfur atom. And in 1 mole of a sulfuric acid, there are 4 mole of oxygen atoms. Okay. Let's suppose I am taking how many moles of sulfuric acid? Let's suppose I am taking how many moles of sulfuric acid? 10 moles of a sulfuric acid. Okay. Now 1 mole containing sulfuric acid, 1 mole sulfuric acid containing 10 mole of hydrogen, 10 moles of sulfuric acid containing 2 into 10 moles of hydrogen atoms. Okay. Now similarly 1 mole sulfuric acid has 1 mole of a sulfur atom. 10 mole will have 1 into 10 mole of sulfuric acid. Are you getting my point? This number of oxygen atoms, this is corresponding to oxygen atoms, this is corresponding to hydrogen atoms. Okay. Now 1 mole of a sulfuric acid has 4 mole of oxygen atom. 10 mole of a sulfuric acid has 4 into 10 mole of oxygen atoms. Are you getting my point? Now here number of moles of a particular atom will be equal to index multiplied by the moles of the compound. Let's suppose I have 10 mole of sulfuric acid. 10 mole of a sulfuric acid. Now I want to calculate the number of moles of hydrogen atoms. Okay. Now hydrogen atoms. Now index is corresponding to number of particular atoms in the 1 molecule. In 1 molecule of sulfuric acid, how many hydrogen atoms are there? 2. So 2 is the index into moles of the compound, that is the 10. So 2 into 10, 20. So here I am writing 2 into 10. So 20 mole H atoms. 20 mole H atoms. Okay. Now number of moles of sulfur atoms. What is the sulfur index? 1, because only one sulfur, into number of moles of the compound is 10. So you have 10 moles of sulfur atom. So this is corresponding to 10 mole sulfur atoms. Okay. Now come to number of moles of oxygen atoms. Now here there are 4 oxygen atom per molecule of acid, sulfuric acid. So 4 into number of moles of such compound is 10. So 40. So here 4 into 10, that is 40 mole oxygen atoms. Okay. So this is very important. So whenever we are comparing the number of particular atoms, we have to consider index into number of moles of that compound. Number of moles of that compound, the atom present in a particular compound. Okay. Now there are some numericals based on POAC method. Without balancing, we can calculate the number of moles of reactants or number of moles of product. Only the condition is that particular element on which we are applying the POAC method, that should be completely consumed in the reaction. Let's suppose first problem, a sample of potassium chlorate KClO3 on decomposition yield 448 ml of oxygen at NTP. Calculate the weight of the KClO3 originally taken. So in the bracket, potassium atomic weight is given, chlorine atomic weight is given, oxygen atomic weight is also given. Okay. Now here KClO3 when decomposes, it give KCl and O2. Okay. Now here this reaction is not balanced, imbalancing reaction. So we can apply the POAC concept on imbalancing reaction. Okay. Now the information given regarding oxygen, regarding which oxygen. So apply POAC on oxygen atom. Okay, how many number of oxygen atoms will be present on the left side should be equal to the number of oxygen atoms on the right hand side. Okay, on the left hand side, KClO3, where 3 oxygen atoms are there per molecule, so 3 into, that is the index of oxygen, number of moles of KClO3. Are you getting my point? So this is here, there is a formula, index multiplied by moles of the compound. Okay, now what is the index here? 3 moles of the KClO3 equal to, on the right hand side, oxygen index will be 2, number of moles of oxygen. Okay, now here, how to calculate the number of moles? Weight upon molecular weight. Do you know what is the molecular weight of potassium chlorate? 122.5. So here I am writing molar mass of KClO3 122.5. How to calculate the molar mass? Sum of the atomic masses. Okay, is equal to 2 into, how to find the number of moles of oxygen? So oxygen weight is not given, volume is given to you. So given volume 448 milliliter divided by STP volume 22,400 milliliters. Are you getting my point? Now from these two we can calculate the weight of the potassium chlorate, which will be equal to 1.63 grams. So this is the final answer. Okay, now this problem can also, in this problem we can also follow another method. What is the method? Suppose the question, potassium chlorate decomposition to give potassium chloride and oxygen. Okay, now this is very simple equation, so we can easily balance. So oxygen atoms, first of all I am balancing, so 2 into 3, 3 into 2, so oxygen balancing. Now KCl, right side left side balancing. Okay, now come to here, there are how many moles of potassium chlorate? 2 mole. How many moles of oxygen here? 3 mole. Do you know 1 mole of a oxygen at STP condition will occupy 22,400 milliliter or centimeter cube. So 3 moles of oxygen will occupy 3 into 22.4 centimeter cube volume. So 1 mole of KClO3 molar mass 22.5 gram. So 2 moles, 2 into 22.5. That means 3 into 22,400 milliliter or centimeter cube oxygen given by how many grams of potassium chlorate? 2 into 122.5 grams. Now in the question, 448 milliliter oxygen given, for which how many grams of KClO3 required. So unitary method, 448 multiplied by 2 into 122.5 whole divided by 3 into 22,400. Again you will get the weight of potassium chlorate, that is 1.63 grams. Weight of potassium chlorate is equal to 1.63 grams. Here, from here and here, in this first method, without balancing we are calculating the weight of KClO3. But here what happens? Balancing of the equation. After balancing of the equation, now we are calculating the weight of the KClO3. Okay, this is very simple equation, so it is very easy to balance. Okay, but in case of a complex reaction, it will be very difficult to balance. That's why where we can easily apply the POAC concept. Okay, Come to second problem. Now 27.6 grams K2CO3 was treated by a series of reagents so as to convert all of its carbon to K2Zn3 FeCN taken twice, whole twice, taken 6 times and whole twice. Find the weight of the product. Now here the initially you have potassium carbonate. Okay, there are a series of reactions. After series of reaction, the final end product is K2Zn3 FeCN taken 6 whole twice. This is the complex compound. Okay, this is the complex compound. Now we don't know the intermediate reactions. What are the intermediate compounds will be formed? We don't know, so it is not possible to balance the reaction. Okay, in this case we have to apply POAC concept. Whatever the carbon atoms are present in the K2CO3, that will be completely converted into the complex form. Now before going to applying the POAC, so we have to know what are the molar mass of K2CO3. K2CO3 potassium atomic mass 39, carbon is 12, oxygen is 16. So we can find out the molar mass of K2CO3, that is the 138. Similarly here also we can find molar mass of the complex, which is 698. Okay, now apply POAC on carbon atom. In the reactant side, carbon atom index is 1 into number of moles of potassium carbonate. On the right hand side, carbon atoms will be here 6 into 2, that is 12 carbon atoms are there in the complex, into number of moles of the complex I am writing here. Now 1 into what is the weight of the potassium carbonate given? 27.6. Its molar mass is 138 is equal to 12 into what is the weight of the complex, that is to be calculated, divided by what is the molar mass of the complex given to you? 698. From here we can find the weight of complex compound will be equal to 11.63 grams. This is the final answer. Okay, this is the final answer. Now next question. All carbon atoms present in KH3C2O4 twice 2H2O weight 2.54 grams. Now converted to carbon dioxide. Same concept, just we apply in the second form, second numerical. Now whatever the compound KH3C2O4 taken twice 2H2O will giving finally carbon dioxide. Now all the carbon atoms are converted into the carbon dioxide. Okay, now here what is the molar mass of the reactant? That is very important, molar mass. Now do you know potassium atomic mass, which is 39, hydrogen atomic mass is 1, carbon atomic mass is 12, oxygen atomic mass is 16. Okay, we can calculate the molar mass, 254. What is the molar mass of carbon dioxide? We know carbon atomic mass is 12, each oxygen is 16, so overall total molar mass of 1 mole of CO2 will be 44 grams. Okay, now same concept, apply POAC on carbon atom. On the left hand side, 2 into 2 carbon atoms into taken twice, that means 4 carbon atoms are present into number of moles of the given compound KH3C2O4 taken twice dot 2H2O. Okay, on the right hand side only one carbon atom, index is 1, so number of moles of carbon dioxide. Now how to calculate the number of moles? Given mass upon molar mass. So here weight is given 2.54. In the question it is given, you see the weight is given to you 2.54 divided by what is the molar mass here, 254, is equal to 1 into what is the weight of the carbon dioxide to be calculated, what is the molar mass of carbon dioxide, 44. From here weight of carbon dioxide we can calculate it as a 1.76 grams. 1.76 grams. This is the weight of the carbon dioxide. Okay. Now come to next problem. In a gravimetric determination, in the sense it is a quantitative analysis. Okay, phosphorus aqueous solution, in the gravimetric estimation of phosphorus, an aqueous solution of sodium dihydrogen phosphate is treated with a mixture of ammonium and magnesium ions to precipitate magnesium ammonium phosphate, that is MgNH4 twice PO4 dot 6H2O. Now this is heated and decomposed to make magnesium pyrophosphate, that is Mg2P2O7, which is the weight of 1.054 grams. Then what is the weight of the sodium dihydrogen phosphate present originally? Now here first of all, what is the given compound? Sodium hydrogen phosphate aqueous solution. Now it is treated with whom? Ammonium ion and magnesium ions. Okay, to get ammonium phosphate, magnesium ammonium phosphate. Okay, after that it is heated and finally converted into Mg2P2O7, which is magnesium pyrophosphate. Okay, now first of all here whatever the phosphorus present in the sodium dihydrogen phosphate, it is completely converted into the magnesium pyrophosphate. This is the key concept. Okay, now here what is the molar mass here? We know sodium atomic weight 23, hydrogen is 1, phosphorus is 31, oxygen is 16, so total 120. Now magnesium pyrophosphate, magnesium atomic mass 24, phosphorus 31, oxygen 16, total 222 molar mass. Okay, now apply POAC on phosphorus atom, because phosphorus atom is conserved. Okay, now in the left hand side only one phosphorus atom is there, index is 1, number of moles of sodium dihydrogen phosphate. On the right hand side finally in the magnesium pyrophosphate, if you see there are two phosphorus atoms, so index will be 2, number of moles of magnesium pyrophosphate. Now how to calculate the number of moles? Given mass upon molar mass. Given mass to be calculated, molar mass 120, here 2 into what is the given mass? 1.054, that will be given in the final question. This is the weight of the magnesium pyrophosphate divided by what is the molar mass of magnesium pyrophosphate? 222. So finally what will be the weight of sodium dihydrogen phosphate? Will be equal to the 1.1394 approximately. Shall I write 1.14 grams? 1.14 grams. Okay. Now come to next problem. Here there is a 0.607 grams of silver salt of a tribasic acid was reduced to 0.37 grams of a pure silver. Then find the molecular weight of the acid. Now let tribasic acid molecular formula will be H3 some A. Why I am taking the 3 hydrogens? In the question it is given tribasic acid. What is the meaning of a tribasic acid? The acid which gives 3 H positive ions in water. When H3PO4 dissolved in water, it gives how many H positive ions? 3 H positive. That's why the name is given to it as a tribasic acid. Okay. Now here this tribasic acid, okay, now it is changed to salt of silver salt. Let's suppose I am replacing the hydrogen by silver, because silver is monovalent, hydrogen is also monovalent. Okay, let's suppose I am treating with some base silver hydroxide, acid base reaction to give silver salt. Now again this silver salt reduction, finally we are getting silver, pure silver precipitate we are getting. Okay, now the concept is how many number of silver atoms are present in the silver salt will be exactly equal to the number of silver atoms on the product side. So we are applying POAC on silver atoms. In the left hand side there are 3 silver atoms, that will be the index into number of moles of silver salt is equal to right side only 1 silver atom into number of moles of silver. Okay, now here 3 into what is the weight of the salt given to you? 0.607 here in this question, divided by what is the molar mass here? Molar mass, sum of the atomic masses. So 3 into silver atomic mass we know 108, plus there is another term, that is a anion is there, A negative charge ion is there, this is A minus 3 is there. Okay, now we are writing here atomic mass of A. We don't know what is the A, that's why I am writing the atomic mass. Sum of the atomic masses is equal to molecular mass, is be equal to what is the weight of the silver obtained finally? 0.37 grams. Do you know what is the molar mass of silver? 108 grams. From here A atomic weight, element A atomic weight or atomic mass, you will get finally 207. But the question, molecular weight of the acid. Now come to molecular weight of the acid. In molecular weight of acid, molecular formula H3A. Now its molecular weight will be equal to sum of the atomic weights. 3 hydrogens are there, 3, plus already we calculate the atomic mass of anion A, which is that is A3 minus, which is 207. So overall 210. This is the molar mass of the tribasic acid. Okay. Now after completion of the numericals, there is one more concept by using which we can balance the reactions. So balancing of a reaction with the help of POAC. Now we know in redox reactions how to balance a chemical reaction by simply oxidation number method or half reaction method, that is in redox reactions. But after completion of mole concept only we will study the redox reactions. Okay, in mole concept, how to balance a given reaction with the help of a POAC concept. Let's suppose here K2Cr2O7 plus hydrochloric acid to give KCl, CrCl3, H2O and Cl2. Now how to balance this equation? First of all, what I am writing here, I am writing the equation K2Cr2O7 plus HCl gives KCl plus CrCl3 plus H2O plus Cl2. Now what I am doing here, I am writing some stoichiometric coefficient small a, small b, small c, small d, small e and small f. Once I calculate the a, b, c, d, e, f, so that the complete equation, the complete reaction will be balanced. Okay, now for such purpose we are applying POAC method. Okay, now POAC method applied on each atom. Okay, POAC on potassium atom. In the left hand side, how many potassium atoms are there? 2 into A. Okay, on the right hand side, potassium atoms will be present here only, that is C. This is the equation number 1. Apply the POAC on second element chromium. In the left hand side, here chromium atoms are 2, but there are A moles, so 2 into A, 2A moles of chromium atoms. Now on the right hand side, chromium 3 into D, 3 into, this is chlorine, this is only chromium, so chromium atom 1 into D. So this is the equation number 2. Okay, come to POAC on oxygen atom. Come to POAC on oxygen atom. Oxygen atoms are 7 into A, that will be 7A. On the right hand side, oxygen will be present in the water molecule. This is the equation number 3. Now apply the POAC on hydrogen. There are B hydrogen atoms in the HCl. On the right hand side, hydrogen present in the water only, so 2 into E. This is the equation number 4. Now finally one more atom is there, that is chlorine atom. Now on the left hand side, B chlorine atoms are there, but on the right hand side, chlorine present in KCl, in CrCl3 and in Cl2 also. Okay, now in KCl how many chlorine atoms will be there? C. In CrCl3, 3 chlorine into D, 3 into D, plus in Cl2, 2 into F, equation number 5. Are you getting my point? So there are total 5 equations, but the variables are 6, A, B, C, D, E, F. So let's consider A value equal to 1. Let's suppose, it is not always, you can take B, C, D, anything. Just consider A is equal to 1. Now from here, what happens? If you put the A value in the equation 1, you will get the C value is equal to 2. Yes. If you put the A value 1 in equation number 2, you will get the D value also 2. Yes. Okay. Now if you put the A value 1 in the equation number 3, you will get the E value 7. E value 7. Yes. If you put the E value 7 in the equation number 4, you will get the B value 14. 7 2s are 2 7s are. Now come to F value. From equation number 5. From equation 5. B is equal to, what is the B value here? 14 is equal to, what is the C value? 2 plus 3 into D. D value 2, 3 2s are 6 plus 2 into f. So here 2 into f is equal to 14 minus 8. 14 minus 8 will be 6. So f is equal to 3. Are you getting my point? So final our answer is K2 Cr2O7 HCl KCl CrCl3 H2O Cl2. Okay, now what are the coefficients we got here? Small a value is how much? Small a value here, small a value 1, so I am writing 1 into. Now what is the small b value here? Small b value here 14. Okay, what is the small c value here? Small c value here 2. What is the small d value here? Again 2. What is the small e? That is the 7. Small e value 7. And finally what is the f value? 3. So this is a completely balanced equation. Completely balanced equation. Are you getting my point? So this is the application of POAC during the balancing of a chemical reaction. Let's suppose you may have one doubt, sir, why you are taking a value 1? Let's suppose I am taking b value 1. Let's suppose I am taking, consider b is equal to 1. In the previous case I am taking a is equal to 1. Now I am taking b is equal to 1. Okay, now from the above 5 equations we can calculate the remaining values. Suppose a is equal to b is equal to 1. If you put here b is equal to 1, then e value become 1 by 2. E value become what? 1 by 2. Okay, so e value become what? 1 by 2. Now a value become 1 by 14. Okay, c value become 1 by 7. D value become 1 by 7. Here a value 1 by 14. So a value 1 by 14. So c value will be 1 by 7. So a value 1 by 14 here. So d value will be 1 by 7. Okay, so e value 1 by 2, a value 1 by 14, c value 1 by 7, d value 1 by 7. Okay, now come to f value. In the f value, with the help of the equation number 5, so what is the b value here? 1 is equal to c value 1 by 7. Okay, plus 3 into d, that will be 3 by 7, plus 2 into f. 2 into f. So 2 into f is equal to how much? 3 by 7. So f is equal to 3 by 14. F is equal to what? 3 by 14. Now write the a, b, c values once again. A value how much? 1 by 14. B value, just wait, I am writing directly. A value 1 by 14, B value 1, C value 1 by 7, D value also 1 by 7, E value 1 by 2, F value 3 by 14. Okay, now these are fractional values, so I am multiplying with 14. Okay, so 14 by 14 becomes what? 1. This will become what? 14. This will become what? 2. This is become 2. 1 by 2 into 14 become 7. 3 by 14 into 14 becomes 3. So these are the stoichiometric coefficients. Okay, now you see in the previous case what are the stoichiometric coefficients? A value 1, here also 1, B value 14, here also 14, C value 2, here also 2, D value 2, E value 7, here also 7, F value 3, here 3. So instead of A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1, you can take C value, D value, E value, any one value take constant, which may be, if it is taken as a 1, the calculations become very easy. Okay, now come to next problem, balancing KMnO4 plus HCl, KCl, MnCl2, H2O plus Cl2. Now I am writing equation once again, KMnO4 plus HCl gives rise to KCl plus MnCl2 plus H2O plus Cl2. Okay, now what are the stoichiometric equation? Let's suppose A, B, C, D, E and F. Okay, now here let apply the POAC on potassium. So number of potassium atoms on the left side A, on the right hand side C, equation 1. Apply POAC on manganese. Number of manganese atoms are A, left side, right side will be D. Okay, next apply the POAC concept on oxygen. Left hand side 4 into A oxygen atoms, on the right hand side E oxygen atoms, equation number 3. Apply the POAC on hydrogen atom. Left side B hydrogen atom, on the right hand side hydrogen atoms are 2 into E atoms. And finally apply the POAC on element chlorine, on the left side B chlorine atoms, on the right side C plus 2 into D plus 2 into F, equation number 5. Okay, just like in the previous question, take any one particular value as a 1. Let's suppose I am taking A value 1, put A value 1. Okay, then A value 1 means A is equal to C, that is C is equal to 1. Okay, from these two equations A is equal to C. Second equation A and D, so A value 1, so automatically D value also 1 from equation 2. From equation 3, 4A is equal to 3, put the A value 1, so E is equal to what? 4. E is equal to what? 4. Next to E is equal to 4, from equation number 4, 2 into E, that is the 8, B is equal to what? 8. From equation number 5, B is equal to, that is 8 is equal to C, that is 1 plus 2 into D, that is 2 ones are 2 plus 2 into F, so 2F is equal to 5, F is equal to what? 5 by 2. Okay, now here the values of A, B, C, 1 A value, 8, that is the second value B, C value 1, D value 1, F value 4, E value what? 5 by 2. So I am multiplying with 2, so that you have 2, 8, 2, 2, 2, just wait, I am multiplying with 2. So here 2, 16, 2, 2, 8 and 5. So these are the values of A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D, E, F. So when we take the A value as a 1, okay, let's suppose I am taking C value as a 1, let's suppose, then A value become 1, D value become 1, E value become 4, B value become 8 and F value become 5 by 2. Check yourself. Okay, now here A value 1, B value 8, C value 1, D value 1, E value 4, F value is 5 by 2. Again multiplying with 2. So you will have 2, 16, 2, 2, 8, 5. So this is also another answer. Okay. So where A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. Now let's suppose you take E value 1. Let's suppose consider E is equal to 1, then A become 1 by 4, B become 2, D 1 by 4, C also 1 by 4, F is equal to 5 by 8. Okay, that means A value 1 by 4, B value 2, C value 1 by 4, D value 1 by 4, E value 1, F value 5 by 8. Again you multiply with 8. Okay, now what happens? 8 into 1 by 4 is 2, 8 2s are 16, 8 into 1 by 4 is 2, 8 into 1 by 4 is 2, 8 1s are 8, 5 by 8 into 8 is equal to 5. So these are the coefficients of A, B, C, D, E and F. So this is another method. So you can take any one particular value, whether it is A equal to 1 or B equal to 1 or C equal to 1, any one value, okay, taken as a constant, that is 1. Now some questions are given here, try yourself. Iodine I2 combine with chlorine Cl2 and H2O to give HiO3 and HCl. Next question, Cl2 combine with KOH to give KCl and KClO3 and H2O. KMnO4 plus H2O2 to give MnO2 plus KOH plus O2 plus H2O. H2O2 plus I2 to give HiO3 plus H2O. KMnO4 plus H2C2O4 plus H2SO4 to give K2SO4, MnSO4, H2O and CO2. And last question, KMnO4 plus H2S plus H2SO4 to give KHSO4 plus MnSO4 plus sulfur plus H2O.